Let's meet Chris Mullins, Extension Specialist here at Virginia State University. Please tell us about the raspberry project at Randolph Farm.
Sure, thanks Andy. We're glad you could be here today. We're in a high tunnel greenhouse. We're growing raspberries, and this is a project that's led by Dr. Reza Rafi. I'm on it, and a few other people at VSU are on this project.
Well, what is this structure that we're looking at?
Well, these raspberries and blackberries also, they grow canes, and they'll quickly fall over if they're not supported. And you can see here we have a few things that would help support them. This is a trellis system, and this could be easily built by somebody in their backyard. We have a post that's an 8-foot tall post that we sink in the ground 2 feet that provides the support at the end of each row. And on that we have some 2x4s that we've nailed into that post. Now this is called a V trellis system, so if you'll notice it kind of shapes like a V. At the bottom the 2x4s are shorter in length than the 1-2 at the top. And so that provides a V shape that helps to...
that could hold up a heavy load of fruit.
Hold up a heavy load of fruit. And on these 2x4s, we've got some high tensile wire with a little ratcheting device. And that allows us to ratchet up and tighten this wire up so that it'll hold a load, because like you said, it's a heavy load of fruit when they're producing. And this device holds the cane in place, so it keeps it from moving around and falling down. A home gardener could use something like this, or they could just use a sandwich tie to loosely tie the cane onto the wire.
Chris, I see some black tubing on the ground. What is this material for?
Well, that's our irrigation tubing. No matter what you're growing, you need some irrigation for your plants. And this is a kind of a special way of irrigating. This is a drip irrigation system, and it puts all the water at the plant root zone, as opposed to an overhead irrigation system, which would water this whole area and get all the leaves wet. So there's a definite advantage there to using this type of drip system. It keeps the free water off the leaves, so that reduces diseases, but it also is very efficient in the way it uses water. And this irrigation system is essential when you're first planting the plants and starting them. They really need that water to grow roots and become established. As the roots grow down, it's not as necessary.
I noticed the raspberry plants at that end were loaded with fruit, and this vine is just starting to have some green raspberries. Are there differences in raspberry varieties?
There are, Andy, and these are red raspberries, but you'll notice, like you mentioned, these are much later maturing than the ones we saw earlier. This one's a polka. Also varieties that are common are Heritage and Caroline and Autumn Britain. So a home gardener could find these at their local garden center, home store, and just buy them and transplant them in the ground, probably about mid-April, and put them within the row. They probably need to be spaced about 2 feet apart within the row. And if you're going to, it's best to plant in a single row, but if you put 2 rows beside each other, I'd put those rows at least 7 or 8 feet apart.
And how much yield could we expect from a 20-foot row of raspberries?
Probably on a 20-foot row of raspberries, probably around 3 pints of raspberries in the for the growing season.
Thanks for showing us about the raspberry project here at Virginia State University, Chris. For more information about raspberry production, contact your local Virginia Cooperative Extension office. This is Andy Hankins. I'll see you next time on From the Ground Up.